Hey, Beth.
What does a house wear?
That's a tough one. I don't know.
A dress.
Oh, my word.
What do you call a pirate who designs houses?
Okay, this one I can get.
Okay.
An architect.
Yes!
I
You
got
nailed it!
Yay.
And
Yay.
all of you listeners and watchers are nailing it by joining us for this month's edition of Real Talk. We deliver the latest, the greatest, the absolute bestest updates for the Pacific Northwest real estate
we do.
community.
Yes, we
And
do.
with that, let's dive in. Terry, where shall we start?
How about the
The
headline?
headlines.
Yay.
Yay.
Okay, so for our headline segment this month, I want to just touch base a little bit about the NAR settlement, all the lawsuits that are seemingly proliferating as I talk
Yeah.
in the industry, and just give folks a little bit of detail about what we know on the MLS side of the fence. I'm sure most people are focused substantially on the Drake versus Kendrick Lamar battle.
Oh, yes, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
but I'm going to focus on the NAR situation.
Okay.
A number of our leadership just recently traveled to Washington, D.C. for NAR mid-year.
Right.
Happens in Washington, D.C. in the spring every year. Part of the overarching discussions at that conference were sort of where are we? What are the deadlines? What's going to be required on the MLS side? Obviously, these lawsuits have resulted in some pretty substantive changes to the practice of real estate. And I want to be able to share with our avid listeners sort of what we know at
Great.
this point. So let's see, and I'm going to refer to my documentation here. Certainly don't want to misspeak during any of this. There's all kinds of changes coming down the road. So let's go over a few of the key dates that we're aware of now. The proposed NAR settlement lists September 16th of this year as the date that MLSs have to be compliant with the settlement requirements.
Okay.
So prior to this, there's been a lot of talk about the changes that need to be made, but there's been a bit of lack of clarity as to how we actually implement those changes. So we are starting to get a little bit clearer picture, I think, of what's going to be expected. So that September 16th date is the date, that's sort of the end of the road, basically. You should have, as an MLS, all these changes integrated by that date, but the real date that NAR has required MLSs to be in compliance, if they're part of the settlement, so let's not forget the settlement has some MLSs that are opted in and others that have to proactively opt in.
Okay.
So we're in
Okay.
already. So that date that NAR has said MLSs need to be in compliance is August 17th. So about 30 days prior to that September 16th date.
Okay.
The courts are currently scheduled to have a final approval hearing for the settlement on November 26th. So the key to that is that, yes, we'll be in compliance well before the legal end is finalized. That preliminary approval is already in place. The Oregon State House Bill 405-8 is a state law that then goes into effect on January 1st of next year, so January 1st, 2025.
Okay.
As I said earlier, big changes, particularly for our practitioners, our subscribers, our realtor partners. Part of what we're doing is preparing to communicate how these changes will be affected inside the RMLS web system.
Right.
We want to assure you that we understand communication is the key. Communication of accurate details is most important. There's been a lot of conjecture about this means that, And in some cases, we're finding out that that isn't necessarily the case. So we want to proceed a little bit cautiously so that we're able to provide accurate information. So pay attention.
Yeah.
NAR has some great resources on the NAR website that details a lot of the information. Keep an eye on the RMLS web desktop page. That's where we'll continue to post updates.
Yes.
I know when the settlement was initially announced, we got a lot of calls to our support staff where our customers were expecting answers. And honestly, as we know, the wheels of justice turn very slowly. Sometimes getting the actual final answer is taking a little bit longer, but rest assured, we're here to provide great information, accurate information, as timely as we possibly can.
Great.
So,
good.
All good?
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, let me turn the page here. So let's go ahead and get started with some of those statistics breakdown by state. For the state of Oregon, compared to last month, it's all good news. Everything is up except total market time. And by virtue of that being down, that's also good news.
Yes.
New listings are up over 1,000. Active listings are up almost 1,500. And the median price is up about 16 grand. Inventory, however, so month's supply of inventory is only up about 1/10 of a month in the supply side, but all the pre-summer trends are very positive. So that's in comparison to last month. Now let's go back a year and look in comparison to April of last year. It's also positive news. Inventory is 0.6 of a month higher this year than last year.
Wow.
Modest gains in most of the key statistics, but the best one is active listings, which are up a whopping 2,500 units since last April. So a significant increase there. Let's jump across the Columbia, take a look at our Southwest Washington market. The April market brings some smaller optimism compared to last month. It is nice to see inventory up about 0.4 of a month. So both Oregon and Washington, we're seeing a slow rise in the month's supply. And all of the categories are up, albeit just slightly. We do have almost 400 new active listings, and that part is good news. Let's look back a year. Again, comparing April of 24 to April of 23, it's a rosier picture when we look back a year. Inventory is up a full point.
Wow.
Actives are up over 700, and average and median prices have both escalated. They're both up over 20 grand in comparison to a year ago. So,
wow,
pretty good.
Yes.
I might even say I'm feeling a little bit bullish about the market after looking at the April results. Try to get not too euphoric, but I do think there are good signs for sure.
Yes.
So let's talk about our regular categories. We talk about spikes and streaks and milestones. Let's do spikes first. A big jump or a big fall from the previous month. Active listings had the most impressive leaps. In Portland, they hit 4,550. That's up almost 1,000 from last month.
Good.
And Polk and Marion counties had 542, which is more than 100 of an increase from March. So that's excellent as well.
Yes.
Pending sales also had a few good spikes, almost doubling in Baker County and gaining 27 spots, up to 89 total in our Mid-Columbia market. So that's it for the spikes. Let's talk about streaks, and these are contiguous ups or downs. Sustained trends is what we call our streaks. New listings were the new hotness with a bunch of 4-month upward streaks in Lane, North Coastal counties, Polk and Marion, and Southwest Washington. Pending sales were also rising for the fourth month in a row in Coos County, Lane County, and our north coastal counties. For notable milestones, Curry had their most active listings, 222 active listings in Curry County. That's the most since November of 2019.
Wow, good.
Yeah. Southwest Washington also had their most active listings at 1,311 since April of 2020, as well as the highest total market time of 110 days. So that value, 110 days of total market time, we've not seen that value since January of 2015.
Wow.
So it's been not quite a decade, but getting close to a decade. Now, in terms of new growth properties, Portland Metro is up 22 units. Southwest Washington saw a slight decline. They're down 5 units.
Okay.
And Lane County is also down 3 units, so not a ton of movement for new construction properties. Okay, so now in respect to streaks and milestones and things of that nature, let's talk a little bit about affordability.
Okay.
Every quarter, we get some information on the affordability index of housing in the Lane County, Portland Metro, and Southwest Washington areas.
Okay.
Basically, a NAR formula comparing the median point of how much people are making versus how much home purchasing power that provides based off of an assumed 20% down payment on a 30-year fixed mortgage at a set percentage rate. So that's sort of the behind-the-scene values that are used to determine affordability.
Okay.
This quarter, great news. Things have gotten ever so slightly more affordable. Southwest Washington is 92%
Great.
affordable.
Good.
Portland Metro comes in at 88% affordable, and Lane County at 83%.
Good.
So what this basically means is if you make the median income, you can't quite afford the average priced home. But if you're a bit above the median, you can probably just make it.
Yeah.
April did leave a smile on my face. No, really. That means it's a good time to go to our Understanding Statistics segment to tackle some of the thinking behind our key stats and formulas. Here's our statistical specialist, Jordan.
This week, we're covering average and median sale prices and what it means to say when they are rolling. First, let's go over average and medians. The average sale price is the total sales volume divided by the number of sales. This gives you a general idea of where prices are in an area. Meanwhile, median sale price is the middle value when all the sale prices are lined up numerically. This is typically the preferred statistic due to how little the outlier impacts the end resulting value. For instance, let's consider a group of sales mostly around 400,000 with one outlier at 2 million. In this case, the average sale price will be significantly higher than 400,000. However, the median value will still hover around 400,000, offering a clearer typical picture of where prices are in an area. Next, let's talk about what a rolling date range is. On the bottom of the front page of the Market Action Report, there is a table titled Sale Price Percent versus Previous 12 Months. This table shows the average and median sale price of sold properties in the last 12 months and how those statistics have changed when compared to the 12 months before that. For example, let's take the period of April 2023 to March 2024 and compare it to the period of April 2022 to March 2023. That year versus year measuring stick moves up 1 month with each market action, so essentially rolls forward. This rolling statistic is important because it avoids any distortion caused by one-time events or seasonal fluctuations. Due to its resiliency in short-term effects, it's an ideal long-term metric for measuring slow, gradual changes in the market. I hope that helps. I'll be back next month with more stat breakdowns, but if you have any questions, feel free to email us at communications@rmls.com.
Now for RMLS News. Thanks to over 1,700 subscribers who took our technology survey. We really appreciate your time.
Yes.
We also want to let you know summer's on the way, and that means a full event schedule is starting to come together.
Indeed.
Yes, from PMAR's Young Professionals Network events to CCAR cornhole events. You've done those.
I have done those.
To WCR golf tournaments. We will be out and about over the next month. And with that, we say, go outside. It's nice out. See you next time.
Bye.
My final quote here is, instead of worrying about what you cannot control, shift your energy to what you can create. That's Roy T. Bennett.
Wow. Very profound.
Yeah.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you. Have a great month.
You too.
See ya.